Skylanders Trap Team is one of the most beloved games in the series, but is it because of the levels? I'm not totally sure. I have some mixed opinions on the levels in this game, so today I'm going to be doing a tier list, putting every single level in a tier to see pretty much what you guys think of my opinions. So without further ado, let's hop right into it with the first level. I'm going to try to go through this pretty quickly overall just because I don't want this video to be like over 20 minutes and I don't want to ramble on the whole time. But alright, starting off, Soda Springs. I don't think this is as good as people say it is. It's probably B. It's not a bad level, but as far as first levels, I think it's better in the series. I don't think it does anything special. You don't even get to fight Gulper, so Know-It-All Island slightly better though. I think this is an A tier level. I honestly like Know-It-All Island. I don't really have any problems with it. Slobbertooth isn't the most, or Slobber Trap isn't the most exciting villain ever, but it's decent. Got pretty good secrets, decent gates, all that. So I think it's an A tier. Chompy Mountain is honestly probably an S tier. I actually really like Chompy Mountain. I think Chompy Mage Fight is pretty decent difficulty, and it's just fun overall. Scaling up through the mountain, finally getting to the top, I think feels absolutely awesome. So Chompy Mountain, definitely an S tier level for me. Phoenix Sanctuary, I'm not really sure how I think about this. I think it's A though. Like, it's not too bad, but I don't think it's as beloved as some people seem to think it is. I don't think it's too bad, but it is like, when you think of Trap Team, like, a lot of the time my mind just goes straight to Phoenix Sanctuary, Snapshot, Food Fight, you know. It's kind of a classic level, and it got Chill Will, which is pretty cool. Now, Chef Zeppelin, I think this is another A tier level. I think Chef Zeppelin's actually pretty good. I don't know if it gets hate or not, but it definitely doesn't deserve any hate. I think it's a really good level. I think Chef Zeppelin has a lot of good going for it, and the Chef Pepperjack fight's pretty cool, and it's pretty unique. Like, you're not really on a Zeppelin too much in Skylanders, so I think it's actually a pretty cool level overall. Now, Rainfish Riviera is a level that a lot of people I know don't like, but I think it's A tier. I honestly like this level. I think it's cool. This is very much the level that shakes up the game. It has very different theming from the first 5 levels. It feels a lot different to play through. It has much more of an eerie feeling, but it's cool. It's a cool pirate theme, and it's kind of like a rundown swamp almost, and it's really cool. I like it. Monster Marsh is an S tier for me. I think this is a great level. It has great exploration and progression through the level, which I can really admire. I think it's really fun, and this is definitely just, I mean, the enemies aren't really that memorable, but the arena fight at the end I think is cool, and you get to go through a village. It is, I think, a really good level in my opinion. Now, Telescope Towers is, I think, an A tier level. I think Pinata and Hoodsicle are two great villains, but then Dreamcatcher just kind of ruins the whole thing. The boss fight at the end really sucks, but this level has a unique and interesting theme, which I can appreciate, and it's just fun to get through. There's a lot of exploring to do in certain areas, so it's pretty fun overall. Now, Mystic Mill, I don't like. I think it's a D tier for me. I hate the Mabu gimmick of having to needing them to build certain things, because half the time I get way out in front of them and then they just don't spawn. I have to go all the way back to the beginning level. It is stupid. I hate it so much. It's just not fun. And that's not even mentioning the fact that this level begins with some really annoying platforming section that's just not fun. It feels so separated from the level, and then it goes straight to a turn section. No, not for me. I don't like it at all. Secret Sewers of Supreme Sting is probably a C tier for me. I just don't like the vibes in this level. It doesn't feel that fun. Like, you're going through the sewers. Like, how cool can you really make that feel? I don't think they really delivered that well. Like, they could have made it feel cool, but they didn't. And the enemies in this level, like Fisticuffs, Rage Mage, it's really not that memorable. So I think it's a very forgettable level, and it's not that good of a level. Now, Willikin Workshop is actually S tier, I think. I actually really like Willikin Workshop. I think it does what Secret Sewers of Supreme Sting was trying to do a lot better. And then obviously ending it off with the Crankcase boss fights, really cool. And the Evillikins in this level are much better in my opinion. And it's just a more fun level to play through. Time Town, I honestly think this is another S tier level. I think it has really good platforming overall. Like, I don't have any problem with this level. I think it's really cool, and I mean, it might be a little bland. It's kind of stupid that you can skip the only boss battle in this level is Crosscrow, and you can just completely ignore it if you want to, but obviously you can still fight him, so I don't really have a big issue with that. I think Time Town's a pretty good level, and I like it overall, so I think S tier is a good spot for it. Next up, Future of Skylands, I think is probably B. I think it's kind of right there with Soda Springs. Obviously, Wolfgang at the end is really cool, but the level overall, like, it feels kind of basic, and the area they are in does not feel very cool. Like, they had a futuristic space theme that they were working with, and somehow they kind of messed it up so where it just feels really, like, old-fashioned. Like, it's weird. Everything in this level feels so slow and sluggish and, like, run down, which is the opposite of what it should be. It should be quick, snappy, and fun to get through, but it's not. Blastertron and Wolfgang are a pretty epic duo, though, so that's really really cool. Now, Operation Troll Rocket Seal, I think, is probably a B tier level. It's extremely linear, which is kind of weird, but the cool thing is it's pretty obvious where the side areas are, and there's a lot of side areas. There's a lot of little paths you can take and buildings you can go in to unlock different secrets. Grenade and Threat Pack obviously aren't the best combination of villains, but they're not bad. And overall, I do have a fun time playing this through this level. Like, it's not too bad, but it does kind of what it's meant to be, which it's kind of like just a mid-game level that like doesn't really have anything crazy going on. It's just kind of there. Now Sky Highlands I think is an A tier. The only thing that ruins this level is kind of the turn sections. There's a lot of them, which I think is really dumb, but I mean, yeah, if the turn sections weren't there, it'd probably be S. I think sort of leading up to Taekwon Crow at the top is absolutely awesome. When you're like spiraling up the entire, you know, Sky Highlands, I guess, it is really cool. And this level is visually really pretty too. I mean, you got this purple crystal, which is kind of the center of the whole thing. I really like it. Now, Golden Desert, this might be my hot take of the video. This is an S tier level for me. I don't really get the hate. People say, oh, the chompy worm sections, like, whatever, dude. I really don't have a problem with them. I mean, there's bombshells and stuff, and them just keep you distracted. It isn't that bad. I mean, sure, it's kind of stupid, but, like, you could argue there's some stupid gimmick in every single level, so I don't know, dude. I think Golden Desert's a perfectly fine level to get through, and it feels like there's actual progression. You're making it through the level all the way to the very end, where there's an awesome arena battle, and Grave Clubber comes down. It's super cinematic. I love this level. Now, Lair of the Golden Queen, I think, is another S tier. Going through this like crypt to find Golden Queen at the very end and hike all the way up, it's super cinematic. I absolutely love it. It's one of the coolest feelings ever, and the boss fight is really good. Like, I don't have any problems with this boss fight. It's pretty dang cool, and Golden Queen is pretty fun to fight against. Yeah, the Golden Queen's really fun to fight against, and yeah, bad juju's in this level too. Also, there's like one huge hidden like secret area where you have to like jump down into this like sand vortex, and then you have to fight this eyeball dragon, and there's this dude you can play Sky Stones again. Really cool that you have to like make a mistake to find this area. I really like it. I think it adds a lot to the level. Now, the ultimate weapon, I think, is like B tier. It's really, I don't think it's anything special. It's not bad, but it's not anything special. And B tier is still like a good level. It's just, I would say it's like under average for Trap Team. You can see like most of them are A and S tier. So ultimate weapon just falls a little bit short of that. I don't think it's as fun to get through, and it's just like, get me to the boss art is what I'm thinking the whole time. Chaos is constantly stopping you, and Smokescreen is super forgettable. I don't really know why, but he just is. Now, next up is the Midnight Museum. Midnight Museum, I think, is probably an A tier. I actually like Midnight Museum. I don't have any problems with it. It is a stealth-themed level, which I think is good to have in Trap Team. Have at least one of those. It's fun to play through every now and then. It doesn't have any sort of like relation to the main game story, so you can really play it whenever you want. It's a fun one to get through. The Nightshade boss is really stupid how it ends, but for the most part, it's not that bad if you can look past the fact that you do like 80% of his health in like 5 seconds. It's really weird, but you can look past that. It's a great level. Sunscraper Spire is kind of right there with it. I feel like the overall main level in Midnight Museum is slightly better than Sunscraper Spire, but the end fight and end villain in Sunscraper Spire is like leaps and bounds better. Luminous is so much cooler. Not to mention the plot twist with Mags, I think, is really cool. And you're going around the entire spire, activating these pillars of light. I think it's really cool overall. I like it. I think it's really cinematic, and the villains in it are pretty fun, and they're definitely unique to this level. Now, Nightmare Express, easy S tier for me. I think it's really fun. Nightmare Express is one of the best levels in all of Skylanders, I think, because you're kind of going through this basic like jungle themed levels, which is really fun, and I personally really like. I think it's really cool. And then you obviously get to fight Trolling Thunder, and then Lob Goblin. I don't know why he's light element, but that's whatever. And then you get on the Nightmare Express at the end. It is really cool, really cinematic. Really, the only thing like it is the Cursed Tiki Temple, that big stone dragon. So it's really cool being on that. And then you get this arena battle at the end with what's his name, Noodles, which is really cool. And Noodles is the main NPC in this level. Really cool. Now, Mirror Mystery, I think, is probably B tier. Like the story and sort of how like the wow factor of this level is kind of what makes it not C tier, but overall it's just not for me. I think the like making it through this level is just really boring, and it's just not that fun to get through, and the enemies feel like they're broken. Like they feel like they're main NPC like good guys. You're fighting against them, it's like they don't take knockback, your attacks don't feel like they're doing any damage. It's really weird, but it is a really cool concept that I can admire for. Like, it's cool that we get to go to the swapped around reality where Chaos is good and Eon is bad, but overall level just really isn't for me. Hope you guys know this video. These are just my opinions, so don't be offended by anything I say in this video. Let me know what your favorite level from this game is, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So long, guys.